Hey y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Come along with us. We got a little special treat for you today and really hope you're going to enjoy this video. It's been raining. Well, it rained all day yesterday and rained part of the night. And so it's a little wet and soggy this morning.
Yeah, let's go down here and see how much rain we actually had. I know when I got out and fed the cows this morning, I mean, it's nasty right now. So it's too wet to do most anything outside except for what we're fixing to do. Inch and a half. Inch and a half of rain on what was already wet ground. That's one thing about it, we've got plenty of it this winter. So y'all, I don't know what in the world I'm gonna do with Megan. She's done went and thought we needed another tractor and then went and added to our fleet here. Megan, tell them what you bought.
I didn't buy it. I didn't buy nothing. All I know is my horse barn and cow barn is slowly getting taken over. A little at a time.
A little at a time.
Yep.
What Megan has went and bought here is what I've always considered to be the best garden tractor there ever was. This is a Kubota 245H, which the H stands for high crop. And so this is pretty much like the Kubota version of a Farmall 140. And I know we've got some of y'all that are Farmall fans.
Well, we got one of those too.
Yeah, so we got one of those too. And I'm sure y'all have seen it. But I know some of y'all are Farmall fans, and you may disagree with me when I say this one is the best cultivating tractor there ever was. However, a Farmall 140 is pretty dang hard to beat. However, this one has some stuff over the 140 that just makes it, in my opinion, better. First off, it's a diesel, so you don't have to deal with the gas anymore. No gas issues like you've got a diesel engine. And then secondly, you got a 3-point hitch on the back, so you can actually hook any type of implement up to it that you would normally hook to a regular tractor, whereas with a Farmall 140, you just got the fast hitch here, and so you have to have special implements to hook to this tractor, which this tractor can do pretty much everything that tractor can do. You've just got to have special implements to hook to this one, whereas that one, you can hook your modern everyday type implements up to it. Y'all, I've wanted one of these since I was a kid. Like, since I was Jacob's age, I've always thought these things were so cool because y'all know we grew up in tobacco country. Everybody had 140s that they plowed tobacco with, and then some of the bigger guys, they started getting these Kubota diesels here, and I guess in the late 70s probably, into the mid 80s is when they made them. I think they made them from 76 to 85. Don't quote me on that. I may be wrong, but I think it was 76 to 85. And, you know, so they started migrating up to those, and I would see some of them guys later on in the early 90s still running those Kubota cultivating tractors, and I just thought that they were the coolest thing ever because it was multi-purpose. You could cultivate with it. You had a 3-point hitch that you could still use your other implements with, and it was diesel, and I just always wanted one. So I've had my eye on this one for quite a while. It actually belonged to my great uncle, and he took extremely good care of it. And probably for the last 7 or 8 years, it's basically just been sitting under a shelter at his house, not really being used. I think he would fire it up every so often, and that's really it. But he mainly used it for his garden and doing work around the yard, so it's never really seen any hard work. It's only got 1,400 hours on it, and for the most part, it's in pretty good shape. It's got a few little quirks about it, but I mean, for a tractor that old, it's in really good shape. But so what we're going to be doing today is, I have no idea how long it's been since this tractor was serviced. And so we're going to change oil in it, change air filter, and probably go ahead and change the hydraulic fluid. I went to get all the stuff the other day, and unfortunately they didn't have a fuel filter in stock, so I had to order that, but it'll be coming later this week. But anyways, while we're out here, I thought it'd be a good time to go ahead and show the rest of Megan's tractor collection here.
We're tractor poor around here. Just wait.
Hey, look. I look at tractors as an investment. They hold their value.
It got a huge fertilizer hopper compared to this.
Yes, it does.
Well, that's one thing I forgot to mention. This Kubota tractor came with all the fertilizer attachments, all your plow attachments, and the cool thing is, like these shanks and all this that go under the Farmall will fit on that Kubota. It's like a universal design. So I can use all of that with the Kubota. And before we get started with our with our tour here, what sets a cultivating tractor apart from any other tractor is the whole tractor itself, the engine and transmission and all are set to the side. So you have a clear view right down the center of the tractor. And then you have these underneath the tractor, which allow you to cultivate between your rows of whatever crop you have. And you can see the crop as it passes under the tractor. Whereas if you were on a normal tractor, you know, you're having to look behind you and you can't see directly underneath you and everything. So these are meant especially for cultivating crops. And then turn around the 140 right here. You see how we have the plows and stuff mounted underneath the tractor. And it just, a design like that just works so much better for plowing your garden or cultivating corn or tobacco, whatever you may be trying to raise. But y'all know nowadays cultivation has sort of went away because all your bigger farmers went to the no-till type stuff. So tractors like this are kind of becoming obsolete, and they're more or less a thing of the past. But for somebody like us who grows a garden and grows a small patch of corn and all that kind of stuff, they're ideal for it. So this one is our Farmall 140, and this has been my main cultivating tractor so far. It's what I plant my corn with, and we've had it, what, 3 years?
Has it been that long?
I think so.
Oh,
I think we bought it in 2020, so
yeah,
it may be 4 years now.
Yeah. This is his baby right here.
Yeah, this was the very first antique tractor I ever bought. Bought this. How long have we had this now?
A while.
It's been several years.
Probably 5 years, 5 or 6 years.
I was 4, I think.
Was you? Well, it's been a while. But yeah, this was the first old tractor I ever bought. Well, antique tractor I ever bought. And this one actually came from a neighbor who had it, just a couple miles up the road. And, you know, it's one of those deals where we were just talking one day and he said, "I got something you need." And well,
that was the end of it.
That was the end of it. So every tractor under this shelter here actually came from somebody I know, except for the one that we bought new.
And the
then
Farmall.
and the Farmall. And then my big John Deere, we bought it from somebody local, but we didn't know them. But anyways, they've all been bought used, and every one of them has been bought at a fair price. At least I think so. And like I said, this one was my great uncle's. And so, I mean, I pretty much know the history on this tractor since it was new. And it was bought which this company's out of business now, but it was bought at a local Kubota dealer here. And like I said, they're out of business now, but that's where it was bought, brand new. So it's been here pretty much all its life. We'll walk around to the other side. This one is the John Deere 5200. This is my biggest tractor, and this is probably my main farming tractor. I use this tractor all the time for any type of field work, hay work, whatever. And this has been a good one. This was also, I guess, the very first tractor I ever bought was this one right here. So I bought this tractor. Didn't I buy it before we got married, or was it after we got married?
No, it was before we got married.
I thought so. Mm-hmm. Bought it before we got married, and this was the very first tractor I ever bought. Another deal where I finally saved up enough and was able to get it. And so that'll take us up to this one. This was my grandpa's old tractor, which y'all saw in a previous video here. Before I bought the 5200 John Deere, this was the only tractor I had, and this tractor done everything that I'd done that required a tractor back then. And Grandpa gave it to me when I was really young when Grandpa gave me this. And needless to say, it's seen its better days. Grandpa was never one that was known to take care of his stuff. He just run it. And I kind of inherited that gene somewhat. I try my best to take care of stuff, but at the same time, I find myself just running something until it breaks and then I have to fix it. But anyways, this tractor right here holds a ton of sentimental value to me. And like I said before, there's not enough money in this world that could buy this tractor from me. And one of these days, I do plan on doing like a full restoration on this tractor. I'm just waiting until I've got a good place to work, a good place indoors to work, and really it's going to cost a lot to do it. So I'm going to have to save up the money to do it as well. But I can't wait till that day gets here. But until then, I just kind of use it a little bit as we go to keep it running. But in all honesty, the engine's wore out. That's the main problem with it. The engine's wore out. It's got hardly no compression and a lot of blow-by that comes out the vent tube over there. And I'm just kind of, like I said, I run it now and then just to keep it going. So next, we have the John Deere 1010, which is a fairly new addition to the fleet here.
The third cultivating tractor.
It is. This is John Deere's old version of a cultivating tractor. And these are a little different. They're not offset quite as much as like a Farmall or that Kubota. So they weren't necessarily the greatest cultivating tractor. But it is a pretty cool tractor. But this tractor here also came from a family member as well. So this tractor set for a long time, and y'all have seen in a video from this past summer when I was over there working on it, trying to get it running. We finally got it running this winter and got it over here. However, it's not what I would call usable at the moment. Like, it's got a lot of stuff that just really needs to be fixed on it. But I bought it at a good price. I wanted this one too because I thought a lot of the guy that owned it. And
well, you don't see many of these.
No, you
not
don't.
Around here.
Not around here. This is kind of a rare tractor. This is probably the only one I've ever seen around here. I think I may have seen maybe one more. But so it's a unique tractor, and so I wanted it. I've got all the cultivators that go with it. It came with everything. It's just not on the tractor right now. But so it was definitely worth what I paid for it. By all means, definitely worth what I paid for it. It just needs a lot of TLC to get it in a shape to where I would be comfortable using it all the time. But that's what you got. When you're a tractor collector, kind of like I am, you end up with stuff like this, and then sometimes you get some nice tractors as well. But this is another one. When I get to a place where I can work on it inside and also financially be able to do it, this one will probably get a full restoration as well at some point in time. That's probably years down the road. But until then, I will continue to tinker with it and hopefully get it running better than what it does now, and at least get it to the point mechanically that it's in good shape to use it around here on the farm. And last but not least,
and I said this one got the 3-point hitch on it too.
Oh, okay. Is that
yeah. It's a good thing you brought that up, Jacob. Our cat's following us everywhere. But it's a good thing you brought that up, Jacob. So John Deere on their cultivating tractors also had a 3-point hitch, which was another reason I wanted it, because I like to have stuff that I can use for more than just one thing. And plus, tractors, you can use them when you got a farm or a homestead or whatever. There's always a use for a tractor. So maybe
don't have to have this many.
Maybe one of these days I'll get to the point where I can hook up each implement to one tractor and I'll never have to unhook something. That's the ultimate goal right there. Y'all may not be able to see this one good because it's squeezed in. But this is the one y'all
see in all the videos.
You see in the videos all the time. This is the newest tractor, but we've had it.
Couple years.
I think I bought it new in 2019.
2020.
It's 2019, 2020. It was sometime around the brink of COVID is when I bought this tractor, because we bought this tractor before prices really shot up. And that's kind of the reason I went ahead and bought this tractor, because I had heard rumor that things were getting ready to skyrocket, and I'm glad I did. because I seen at the Kubota place the other day when I was picking up the parts for the other Kubota over here, I seen one identical to this one sitting on the lot, used, that was not in the greatest of shape really for as new a tractor as it is. Of course, this one's dirty. It don't look like it's in good shape, but you clean it up, it still looks like a new tractor. But they were wanting more for that tractor used than I paid for this one brand new. And I was like, that's crazy. But anyways, this is my loader tractor. This is the workhorse that y'all see all the time on here. It's a Kubota LX 2610. We have, you know, the quick attach on the bucket where I can change out the stuff on the front of the tractor, put hay spears on, the bucket, the forks, and the grapple, and all that good stuff. You know, sometimes this tractor turns out to be a little bit on the small side, but you know, so far it does just about anything that we've asked it to do. It's been an extremely handy tractor to have around here, and I would just about say that if I could only have one tractor and that was it, this one would probably be that tractor, because it does at least 75% of the things that we need to do on a day-to-day basis. Now, obviously, if I could only have two tractors, I would have one bigger than this and this one. But you get the gist of it. This one is so handy that it'll do anything and everything that I need to do on a day-to-day chore basis around here on the farm. And
I'll put my little 2 cents.
Okay.
One thing I like about this little Kubota is I can drive it. Like, it's easy enough.
Hydrostat.
Yeah, it's a hydrostat, and it's super easy to work the bucket and everything. Some of these straight gears, like, I struggle with them. Even though I drive a straight gear vehicle, it's different trying to drive a tractor.
Well, you learned how to drive a tractor on one like this one, didn't you?
I can drive that tractor.
Yeah.
It's this one behind me. I can't drive it, but I do like that the Kubota, like, on days that Andy's at work, like during the summer, I can still get this thing out and work with the front end loader and stuff, and it's very simple.
It is.
It is very simple.
And I can drive it too.
Yes, you can.
And I'll say something else about the Kubota. You know, there's a lot of tractor brands out there now. I mean, a ton of them. So, you know, with that being said, with all the tractor brands out there, like, you need to do a lot of research before you go and buy a tractor. And I don't mean just research the tractor. You need, if you're going to buy a brand new tractor for this type of work, working on your land and whatnot, you need to research the dealer too, because the dealer can make or break a tractor brand. We have an awesome Kubota dealer locally, and they will stand behind their product 100%. If something goes wrong with it, they're going to get it fixed. They're going to make sure they get it in and out the door so you can get your equipment back. And that's one reason that I went with this Kubota. And, you know, even though I wasn't exactly what you would call a huge Kubota fan, that alone sold me on the Kubota. And since I've had the Kubota, that's like the more I use it, the more I'm impressed about it. You know, somebody who's not grown up on tractors can easily get on this tractor and accomplish day-to-day tasks with no problem, because it's just that easy to use. When you get on a lot of these older tractors, you know, I will say it takes a little bit of skill on some of them to actually do what you're trying to accomplish, because, well, the clutch, the brakes, everything, sometimes stuff just don't work right, and you got to know what you're doing. But there's one thing to keep in mind, though. You know, if you're on a budget, it's hard to beat these old tractors because they're cheap to work on. They can be bought for cheap. And for most of them, parts are pretty much still available for them. And so as long as you've got just a little bit of mechanical skills, you can fix anything on these older tractors. They're just simple to work on. But with a new tractor, you got a warranty, so you don't have to worry about working on it. You can take it back to your dealer and let them work on it. So it's a wash. You know, it all depends on what you want to do and how knowledgeable you are about fixing stuff.
There's also a story when Daddy got this tractor. It was before he had the loader on it. Me and Maggie come outside when he first bought it. Me and Maggie come outside, and we saw this Kubota sitting in the driveway, and we were like, "Daddy, somebody left their tractor out here." And then Daddy said, "They did." And then I said, "Yeah, it's a Kubota." And Daddy said, "That's my Kubota."
But anyways, we're going to get to rambling about tractors and not get to doing what we really need to be doing. So if anybody ever want to see anything else about the tractors or know any more about the tractors, let me know in the comments. You know, tractors is something that I love, and I could talk all day about them. So, you know, if there's something you want to know, feel free to ask. But let's go see if this old Kubota will fire up and pull it up here and start working on it. All right, let's see if this old girl will fire up. So a lot of these old Kubotas like this one right here, the bigger Kubotas, the smaller Kubotas, all of them tend to be just a little bit on the cold-natured side. So you have to use the cut glow plugs to heat them. I mean, to heat them instead of crank. Yep, I have to heat it a little bit more. Now this is every old Kubota I've ever been around. We're all cold-natured. We'll let this thing warm up for a little bit, and then I'm going to change the oil in it. But I want it to get warm so the oil drains out. You know, it's not all thick from still being cold. So I've let it sit and run now for about 5 or 10 minutes. We got the engine good and warm. I mean, it's not hot, but it's good and warm. So I think we're ready to drain the oil out. So that's my main concern today. I think I'm gonna get the oil drained and changed. I'm not sure I'm gonna worry about the hydraulic fluid today, just simply because I have a manual on the way. I found one on eBay. So I have a manual on the way, and I'm not 100% sure how much hydraulic fluid this thing's supposed to hold. And I've looked all over the tractor, and I can't tell exactly how to check it. So I think I'm just going to hold off on that till I get the manual, so I can make sure that I get it all right. But anyways, let's see if we can get this oil drained and changed, and then we're going to pressure wash it. And then after I pressure wash it, I will go over and grease all the grease fittings. And that's one thing I've noticed about this tractor, y'all. This thing has got grease fittings everywhere. And, you know, there's little stuff like this that I'm going to work on. Like my brake pedals. I guess where it's set for so long, when you push them, see how it stays down? I'm going to see if I can get all that freed up really nice so that, you know, I don't have to pull that back up every time I use it. But I'm super excited. I think I got a little gem here. So let's get the oil drained.
Ooh.
Yep, that stuff's black too. It needs changing.
It's shiny black. Where's the air filter?
Right here. Have to take this little clamp loose.
It's in front of the radiator?
Yeah, there's your radiator.
And it got a white fan. I've never seen that before.
Well, I tell you what, that air filter definitely need to be changed.
I can't even see it.
Yeah, boy, that definitely need to be changed. You can definitely tell. What y'all think?
What's that for? This.
It's like it's holding on a little washer.
No, it's not that. Like this fan piece.
Oh, somehow or another, when the air gets up in there, that, I don't know, something that makes the air move around right inside of there. I really don't know what they do. I just know it funnels the air around inside the air filter housing. Yep.
Geez, that thing was suck.
All right, so what we're going to do is go get a paint marker, and I like to always mark on my filters the day I change them, so there's never no question. All right, so I don't have a ton of room to write on this one, so I'm just gonna put on here, let's see, today's March the 2nd, 24. So I don't know, I don't expect me to put enough hours on this thing to have to worry about changing it. I'll probably write the hours down on the oil filter when I change that.
Well, I also, y'all won't be seeing this on March 2nd, 24.
Oh, what, the video?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll see it sometime next week, I guess.
Yeah.
Your air filter there, that's one of the most crucial things about any piece of equipment. Keep that air filter clean, because if that engine don't get clean air, then it's not good.
What happens?
Well, if your engine ever starts bypassing the air filter and sucking in dirt, you can destroy an engine.
What does bypassing mean?
Like if the air filter gets so clogged up that it starts sucking in air from other places. Most of the time, if the air filter gets so clogged up, it won't run.
And also, how does it get air when it got this?
It sucks it in right here. See, it pulls air in right there. Looks like a horn.
Looks like them things that are on pool tractors.
While I'm waiting on the oil to finish dripping, I'm gonna check my antifreeze, and it actually looks pretty good. So for now, we're not gonna worry about doing any of that. I just want to make sure it's got some in it. This thing don't have a fuel gauge, so I'm gonna look in the fuel tank here. Yeah, it don't have a fuel gauge. I haven't even checked the fuel to see if it had any in it. Oh yeah. Yep, looks like we got about a half a tank. And that's one thing about these little diesels like this right here. This thing will probably run forever on a tank of fuel. You know, those like the gas Farmalls and stuff, they're not bad on gas. But this thing right here will probably blow it out of the water. At least that's my expectation.
Todd?
Yep. Now we'll move to the other side and take the oil filter out. A genuine Kubota filter for this thing, which is what I ordered, was $82 for the fuel filter. $82. That's ridiculous. I happened to come in, which I've already ordered and paid for it now, so it doesn't matter. I come home and just happened to look on, I think it was on eBay, and I found an aftermarket fuel filter for 15 bucks. So, I mean, now I'm not recommending running aftermarket filters. For that price, I would have. But I usually try to keep genuine filters on my equipment. So if it's a John Deere piece of equipment, it gets John Deere filters and it gets John Deere oil. If it's a Kubota piece of equipment, it gets Kubota filters and Kubota oil. And that's just how I like to do it.
What about a Farmall?
Well, that's a good question. Because we don't even have a Farmall dealer around here. So for the Farmall, I go to like my auto parts store and get a good high quality filter for it. But stuff like John Deere Kubota that's still easily to get a hold of, I like using genuine filters on that stuff. Which the Farmall, we don't hardly run it enough to worry about servicing it that much.
Well,
I've serviced it one time since I had it.
Jeez, you've only serviced it in 1 year? Well, not 3, 4 years.
Well, you gotta think in those amount of time, I don't run it much.
Well, you just use it to plant and plow the garden and corn patch.
Get my new filter. This one is silver.
The old filter is probably original.
And don't even say Kubota on it, so now people are gonna think I've got a different kind of filter on it than a Kubota.
But it's a Kubota filter. See, it comes in a Kubota box. It says Kubota genuine parts.
But none of the other filters for this, well, the oil filter and the oil and all that stuff, you know, that wasn't that bad. That was comparable to other tractors. But that fuel filter just blowed me away. I couldn't believe That little thing was $82.
And you got a 5-gallon of oil. 5-gallon bucket of oil. Right?
Mm-hmm. The hydraulic oil. Because they told me that it takes a little over 5 gallons of oil. So one thing I always like to do when I'm changing oil is touch them together like that, and I make sure the seal touches in the same spot. And we get a little bit of that old oil on the seal right there and rub around that seal just to lubricate it for when it spins on there.
Well, now we just need to get white paint and just paint Kubota on it.
You reckon?
Mm-hmm.
So
they'll know it's Kubota.
So I like to just snug a filter up with my pliers here. Not too tight, but just snug it.
And you don't want to bend the filter either.
No, you don't want to bend a brand new filter. And then we're going to write on there March 2nd.
And when you write March 2nd, you got to write Kubota. Because they'll know it's a Kubota.
You think so?
Yes.
And we have, let me see how many hours. 1,491 hours.
Why do you got to write the hours on it?
So I know.
But it'll always say the hours on that.
Well, I know how many hours it had on it when I changed it.
Oh.
And so when I write that on there, I can reference back to that and be like, well, I changed oil on it on March 2nd last year, and it had 1,491 hours. And so next year when I'm looking at it, I'll be like, well, I put 100 hours on it during the year or something. You know, it's just a nice reference number to have. So now we're going to add the new oil in. Goes right in the top of the engine up here. Put our funnel in there. And according to Kubota, or according to the Kubota dealer, this thing holds 5.75 quarts, I think is what they told me. So I've got a gallon, I've got 2 more quarts over here, and we're going to start off by just putting this gallon in, and then we'll check it.
That oil looks much better.
Does, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it'd be nice to kind of do a little restoration on this tractor, but the unfortunate thing is Kubota has discontinued this blue color that they used on their motor and transmission and everything. Nowadays they use like a gray, and that's the only color you can buy. You can't buy a Kubota blue at the Kubota dealers now, which I think is kind of crazy, but they done away with it. Let's see what it shows.
You got it unstuck?
Yeah, I got it out. It wasn't that hard. I fooled with it and it came out. Yeah, so we still need another quart at least. So that right there is 5 quarts. It's showing full. So we'll start it up, let it fill the filter up, and then we'll check it again. See, I told you they're cold natured. I already got to heat this thing. Showing full. I don't think I'm going to add that 0.75 quarts that they said it needed. Because we're still actually sletting on just a slight slant here, so it would actually be showing not quite as full as it really is. So I think I'm going to leave it at that 5 quarts. I'll check it later on after I run a little bit just to make sure. But I've at least got the quart here in case.
those tractors. But no, in all honesty, I think that we'll be able to put this little tractor some really good use. And it was family members, and so that makes it even that much more special to haul with. So it's like a kid in a candy store.
It looks like it cleaned up pretty good. Don't you think so?
Yeah, it looks good.
It don't look bad. And I didn't put no type of cleaner or nothing on it. I just strictly washed it with a pressure washer. So I imagine if I used some type of cleaner, it'd probably turn out a whole lot better. But I'm pretty excited. All I got left to do now is, of course, that hydraulic fluid. But I'm going to grease everything now after I washed it. And that's a good thing to do, because when you grease a spot where you've washed it with a pressure washer, water gets forced down into these joints and stuff. So if you grease it after you wash it, you push that water back out and it don't stay in there. But I don't know, pretty excited about this. Pretty excited.
Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned a little something. Let us know what you think in the comments. And till we see y'all on the next one.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.